Hello guys, Aaron from houseofhaha.com, and we welcome you back into the wild. Today we're going to do a video for you of something we're going to ask a lot of questions about is how do we live? How do we stay in the woods? We're camping. Do we use a tent? Do we just sleep in our car? Like, what do we end up doing? And we've been at this campsite for 2 nights now. The weather's been really nice. It hasn't been really horribly hot in a way we couldn't deal with, and the nights have been nice and cool. However, there's been mosquitoes. So this is one of my, if you want to deal with mosquitoes, tips in the wild. Live in a tent, because that's a good way to avoid them, because that way you can keep them away from you. So we're going to set our tent up for the night. Our tent is a Napier tent. What makes it unique is that it actually attaches to the back of our car. So the car and the tent become one. And then we can stay inside the tent while having this whole front area, or stay inside the car and having this whole front area as our hanging out, working, living space, cooking space, things like that. Or we could pull our things inside the car and then live inside the tent. We have all those options available to you. So this green box down here is where we've been storing our tent on this recent part of our journey. We have it strapped up to the top of the car most of the time until we end up needing it. But a little tip for you, what we've been doing, you ever notice when you go to like when you get like a new pair of jeans, pants, or something like that, and it comes with like these canvas belts, ones you don't end up usually using most of the time, but when you end up having them, you're like, I don't know what to do with these. These make excellent luggage racks. I use these and strap them down around the top and the back and the side of our luggage rack to secure our tent, our box, or whatever down to them. I use these also when we did our convention days for House of Ha. We did shows and things. We travel around. These are the things I would use to strap our grid walls together, our big, steel grid walls together and things like that. So very durable, used them for years. So if you've got a bunch of these old belts like this, canvas ring belts at home, repurpose them and use them for luggage racks or whatever. Excellent thing. All right, so we're gonna get into it. All right, so I'm gonna take our tent out, open it up, and it traveled really well. A little extra rope in case we need it. So this is the bag our Napier tent came in originally, and it's worked really well keeping everything waterproof, but as you can see, at some point it's split.
It's been a couple of seasons in the sun.
It's been a few seasons in the sun. It probably, when they designed it, didn't think about people doing this full-time year-round, but it's okay, we don't mind. It definitely, it's worth what we paid for it. So, speaking of, do you remember what the price on this tent was? It's like
it was a little under 400. It's around $400 these days.
Been very happy with it. It's a lightweight tent, which means it's good for the summer, when it's warm, it breeze. If you're looking at hanging out in the snow, it's not going to keep you warm, let's put it that way. All right, so let's set aside some of our things.
So did you want to say what the plan is? You
Oh,
got your tarp down and...
You're right. Thank you, Melody. This is why I have my producer here with me. So what we did ahead of time, in addition to bringing down the box of the tent from the top of the car, is we've laid down our blue tarp. This is the tarp we use since we started our journey. It protects our food. It's a mat for us. With the 20 bucks we spent in this thing has been worth it 1,000 times over. So we lay this down here for our foundation, and this is essentially, if you can see where it's squared off, essentially where the tent is going to be set up at. Then at that point, once we picked our position, we just back the car up to about the center right here, and then when the tent attaches, it's going to have an umbilical.
They'll see.
You'll see. It's really cool.
Okay.
And as we go through and I put the tent up, Millie's going to tag out and she's going to explain to you what I'm doing.
Because normally we put it up with 2 people.
That's what we're going to experiment with here. They say this can be a one-person job. So we normally, the 2 of us, do this together. We have our own system. We can throw this up and really, really quick with the 2 of us doing it. But we're going to try just me, her filming it, and we'll see what a one person can do putting this tent together. I don't think it's going to be a problem.
All right, I'm going to pause and go get in my vantage point.
Okay. Go. All right.
Okay, so I'm high atop the picnic table. And Aaron is going to lay this all out. He's got to get it laid out flat and in the right position. That's the rain fly right there. We don't normally put that up because it doesn't normally rain, and when it does, we put up a tarp anyway. So that really just keeps some of the air out, and that's not what we're looking for here. So it folds like into ninths, the tent does. It's pretty kind of cool. I like this tent a lot. I'm glad we got it. So the key here is that you have to make sure that the car, they call it the umbilical, because is towards the car, or you've got to turn it around. I don't know if he's got it or not. Doesn't look like it. He's going for the rotation. So, you got it? Yes, thumbs up, so that's pretty good.
I was finding where the umbilical side was.
So also in the middle, you probably can't tell, part of the amorphous mass, there's a porch that goes on this tent. It goes on the side that's away from him right now, near that rock over there. We have stopped putting that on just to save a little time when we set up camp. It's not super necessary. We might put it on later because we're going to be here a while, and just to let you guys see the whole glory of the tent. It's pretty cool. But he's going to have to get that out of the middle.
Shoes off before you go walk down the tent.
Right, he's got his shoes off. You're not supposed to walk on the tent with shoes. He's got, that's the porch. Got it up.
Room, porch.
Yeah, he's got that. The only difference between that and the rest of the tent is that that part doesn't have a floor. But it is kind of a nice extra room. It's got a lot of venting in it. We've set our chairs out there before. We kind of put down our own floor for it sometimes. So, and if you can kind of see those royal blue strips in the middle, that is where the poles are going to go. It just does an X shape across the middle of the tent. There's a circular sort of node in the middle. He's got the end piece. And that one piece that he's got in his hand, the roof pole goes and the side pole, and that's the middle where they all attach to. And they're all covered with these little booties. They're supposed to keep their plastic more, supple, or keep them from poking the tent, probably is what they're really going for. And we have managed not to lose any of the booties through our, 2 seasons of camping so far, which we're fairly ecstatic about, as ecstatic as you can be about booties. So, there you go.
Pull your booties together. Important to organize your stuff as you're going, because it's not really a fun place to lose stuff.
He's trying to tell you that it's important to keep everything organized as you go, because it's just not a really great place to lose stuff. You're probably not going to be back. So there it is. That part goes over. It hooks to the top of the roof rack up there. It's got one of those little kind of like straps that squeeze in on the side and click in. And then it also, you'll see it better when he comes and does this side, but it also hooks to the wheel well. So it's got 2 points of attachment from the outside of the tent. And it also attaches to the bumper when you get inside the tent. So this is where the adjustable part is that makes it suitable for all sorts of different SUVs. And I think they said minivans, but like there's a little cinch. It's on the far side, so you get both sides on and you cinch it up until there's no room left around the car. It's got elastic on the bottom. You can kind of see him pulling it, and there's the one going in the wheel well right there. And he nailed it. It's probably about the right size because we don't have any reason to change it. So here's where the exciting part is going to come in. This is where the poles come out of their bag.
Okay.
All right.
That part's attached. Now I get the poles.
So there's 2 kinds of poles. There's short poles and long poles. And the long poles go with the porch, so we're not going to be using those. There's a little kind that fold down in 3. They're connected with the sort of rubberized string, and they pop together fairly well. Makes you look awesome. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing here. And he does. Right on. So there's 2. 3. Is he going to get them all the right length on the right side on the first time? Are they all the same?
Yep.
Perfect.
All the same.
He nailed it. It's like he's done it before. Okay, those are the sides. I think I was the one not nailing it with the camera work. Sorry, everyone. There he goes. Those are the ones that go for the roof. Those slide in little sleeves. And then go into that central node. Alright, and the ones left are for the porch. Maybe we'll put that up later. Maybe we won't. Here we go. Putting one. He puts one at each corner. That way it's like ready when he's ready. Alright. It slides in through the pouch. This is normally my job. I usually walk on the tent and put these things in. I attach them to the center and he helps me doing the outside connectors that go into that one that he's doing right there. He usually does those and I get the center ones done. Teamwork makes the dream work, they say. Alright, and at this point you just have to be careful not to step on it too much so that you pull it up and rip the screen door with your toes. Because you'll be sad. And sad campers is not like a famous thing. Happy camper is. It's also the name of one of our contributor levels at patreon.com/House of Haha. Happy Campers. It's a $5 level. People contribute and we send them like little souvenirs every single month, and they're like cool stuff that relate to our travel. We did a pencil case once that was like full of art, you know, it has, you can put your art supplies in like we use. We've also sent out so far a mosquito net for your face. Oh, he's got that one in. I don't know what's with the corner. He'll get it. The mosquito net's coming this month and that's going to be pretty cool. And that was a spoiler if anybody's watching. Don't tell Aaron I told you. I don't know if you can hear the generator behind me or not, but part of the reason we're putting up this tent is 2 days ago we came and we were the only people in the park or the campground, and there's really only a couple of other people here now, but everybody decided to park right next to us. So we've got a generator going. There's a couple horse trailers behind me and another RV. They're running generators. A bunch of, you know, ladies out with taking their horses for some rides. Out past us from where I'm looking. Oh, he's got the side. He's going for the first one. This is going to be the rub. This is where I usually put the first one in and hold it, and he then runs around and does all the rest of them for me, and I just kind of stand there and stabilize the tent. And those clips are what keeps it stable. The top and the bottom is one thing, but if it's not clipped in all along the edge of that pole, it's really not stable. And it's got a little pin that hooks into the bottom of that pole right there. Nice job. I think he's totally gonna get this. It looks like it's easier to do without me than it's with me. So the benefit of people here, there's like 6 horses running around here, and they are beautiful. There's like a chestnut horse and a white horse and a brown horse with a black tail. There's like all different horses, and they're just so pretty, but their owners are loud, and they're loud into the night. So they had been off on a ride, and we were going to put this up while they were gone, but they came back kind of quick. It's probably lunchtime for them. Look at, he's got that, getting that one in there. Nice job. One pole left. It's all akimbo right now. This is going to be the wow moment. So you can see it come together. And you can see through right into it. That's what it looks like without the rain flap over it. A lot of breeze gets through, a lot of sun too. It's another reason to put the rain fly on. Sometimes the shade is nice. So, and it's not as big as the tent, or the tarp I mean to say. So you can just kind of pull it all along. Now, one thing is, most people stake their tent, and that is a really good idea if you don't want your tent to blow away and you don't have heavy stuff to put on the inside. But we have tons of stuff with us, so we kind of use a paperweight method on the inside of the tent rather than stake it. That also lets us, put it on the tarp without having to go through the tarp or scrunch it up. It also saves you a ton of time, because I personally think the worst part of putting up a tent is all that freaking stake hammering and then having to pull all the stakes out. You got that up, man. You did a great job. So, all right. I'm gonna press pause on this and climb down so that you can see the inside of this and how it gets set up.
Keep doing something.
Okay, so here I am coming into the tent. Oops, it needs to be swept out a little bit. Here he is inside. You can see there's lots of room. And now for the finishing touches. You gotta make sure you park right, or you stab your tent. Like a little bit right there is happening. But you know what? We didn't stake it down, so we can always pull it back a little bit. Alright, you can see we already have our bed together, because like Aaron told you earlier, we've been here a couple of days. That strap goes into this little metal where the lift gate attaches to, and then these hook onto that part. And oops.
And that pulls up the bottom so no critters can get in.
Yeah, so you can see how that pulls it up right there.
Here's the side if you want to see. There's elastic. There's a seam that comes over like this, and there's elastic there, and then it's has clips that you can tighten up so it fits. And then we can crawl in there, and then we'll take some of our things, and
set them in the corners. We kind of put our stuff on the sides. His stuff and my stuff goes on the other side. That way it kind of stays organized. Our bed's not made, you can tell that.
We slept in it last
but
night.
But I did want to tell you that this does close, and it puts a screen as well if you wanted to keep it closed. And sometimes we do keep it closed because if the sun's really shining on the car, that kind of blocks out some of the heat that comes in through the car.
Yeah.
Although we don't have it right now, but we do have a sunshade that we put up there too.
Just to show. So you can see. And this would zip
Yeah, it zips all the way up
right
there.
there. And it's two, so you can unzip the front.
Is it caught down there? Do we need to just adjust?
Just adjustment is all.
Okay.
But no, it's good. And it's got a screen, and then it's got...
So if you were going to stake your tent, you should check this adjustment before you do that.
Another suggestion, if you're going to set up, we didn't mention it when we parked our car. If you're going to sleep in the car, or you're going to do anything inside it like that, you want to make sure your ground is level. Of course, like for your tent, you want to make sure no holes, you want to have level ground. But for us, we have found when you sleep in a car that's unlevel, legs can cramp, or you start leaning back. You fight against gravity, and it makes for a much less comfortable sleep. So as much level ground as possible.
So you want to close that window, like you can see? So we're going to close out the horse people over there, so we're not looking at them. We're having a selective view right now. So we have left ourselves with this view. Lovely. Oh, wait!
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Sorry.
And then this view out into the woods. So that's what we are going for here today. And you can see the door, it's shut screens. That rolls, this is messy now because that's how you have to do it to fold it flat with the tent. But it rolls up and attaches into those little things. And this is the side where the side porch actually comes off. And you just walk through this door and ta-da, side porch when we put it up.
I highly recommend a Napier tent if you want a car camp like Melody and I do. This is basically how we live our everyday life in a tent like this, in a car like this. So if you want to pick one up, I'd recommend it. We'll have a link available, right? Where you guys can get one. So I'd recommend get one for yourself.
All right. You want to tell them to have a reasonable day or what?
Guys, thank you so much for watching me. Thank you, Melody, for narrating and talking while I got to put the tent up. Thank you for watching. Please share. Please give us a like. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. And as always, have a reasonable day.
I'm going to take on a little tour walk around before I turn the hit that button just so everybody can see.
You kids go have fun.
We're just going out here. It's already 20 minutes, but just so you can see what it looks like from this side. All set up. There he is in there. He's handsome. There's the horse people. There's our bed. There's the straps. So this is where the porch goes. If we put it up, I'll let you know. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.